Deepak Gupta, the Joint Managing Director of Kotak Mahindra Bank, joining us, as well Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the founder and CEO of Paytm, joining us. To come to you first, Mr. Gupta, what's the sense you're getting? Is Payment Bank going to take away some of your float? Is that a threat or is it an asset?
Well, I guess it is a combination of both, but one ultimately looks at the entire space as an asset, because what it will ultimately really do is get us closer access to a large base of customers which are not really included today at all, really. Yeah, so in the beginning, yes, there might be some threats, because you will have maybe customers in urban India, customers who are already banking, also move to some of these payment banks. But ultimately, I think the bigger picture, the bigger gain really is the opportunity to, access a much wider base of customers, really.
And we invite the CEO of Paytm as well, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, who has got an approval to set up a payments bank. So Vijay, good morning and thank you for being with us. This is the first time a homegrown e-commerce company is looking at financial services business in a very big way. And you've gone on record to say that, you could actually cause a disruption in the financial services business. Just tell us, what is the kind of scale up that you expect to see in the overall financial services, and also with respect to now receiving an approval to set up a payments bank? How long would it take for you to scale up?
Thank you. And I think, as we've been saying, this is an incredibly great opportunity for us, as Paytm is such a young company, and trust that RBI has put in is immaculately lot. So we want to be sincere and hardworking towards every opportunity here. And I think it is totally about how we can bring new customers who have traditionally been ignored by, let's say, universal banks which are there. And these are the customers who are young, these are the customers who are in rural area, these are the customers who are technology savvy somehow, and we are seeing them accepting Paytm as a payment method already, and then hopefully we can convert them into deposits and then rest of the financial services. So I believe that traditionally the country has seen banking ecosystem and financial services led by deposits. Every bank typically, if you're asking for a loan, would ask how much money do you really have. While I was hearing Governor a while back that how very candidly he said that this is extending your deposit base, which is truly what we also believe when we applied for and then gave the guidance how we want to work for it. So I think the country will see new blood, country will see new innovations, and I have a firm belief that technology companies can learn certain verticals sooner than that vertical people learn the technology. So there will be an edge there, but at the same point of time, I think there is a lot to be built there. Reach, trust, scale, all sorts of challenges for us. Okay. And to the second question, as you said, that how long we're going to take to start, we want to be one of the first ones to the to start. We're really excited, and we've started working, and we'll wait for what RBI puts a guidance and next steps to do, and we want to be much before the 18 months timeline that we are reading about.
Okay, we have our guest editor Aditya Narayan, the Managing Director from Citi, also with us. Your guests.
Sure. Hi, Deepak. Deepak, one of the the big buzzwords going around is digital banking. And that's an area where you also actually, are way up the curve there. If, from your perspective, you could give us some idea of how you are actually defining digital banking, because there are all kinds of definitions that are floating around. So, what exactly are you seeing effectively as digital banking? And beyond that, how do you see the economics of it actually playing out over a period of time? Is it more a hygiene factor element like internet banking proved to be about 10 to 15 years ago? Or is it something where there can actually be a fair amount of differentiation amongst banks?
Sure. Aditya, as you said, we were pretty up the curve, and we got onto this practically about 2.5, 3 years back, really, on this entire digital game, really. Now, in the beginning, we were pretty, enamored by trying to put in place new technologies, new products, new convenience, traits which the customers can benefit from. And we tried all of that for the first 1.5 odd years. What we really ultimately ended up realizing is that, yes, all of these products, whether on the social media or in a mobile app or on the net banking, are good to have, nice to have, and maybe great to talk about. They actually don't get customers. If you have to get the customers, you have to, A, either spend hell of a lot of money on marketing, so from an attracting point of view, or B, give, SOPs, monetary and otherwise, to attract customers onto these technologies or these new convenience tools, really. So about 1.5 or 2 years back, what we said really is, let's not go down that path. It's very nice to talk about being digital and having a digital bank, but in effect, from a running concern point of view, what all can you do on the digital field? And we basically sort of outlined 3 broad areas which we said are relevant from a bank's perspective, and more so a universal bank like ours perspective, really. A is invest money on digitization of processes. Yeah, so make processes which speed up things, which make it more convenient, which provide economies, which provide productivity, which results in efficiencies, and all of these are relatively cost-saving measures. So whether it's the entire account opening process, or how your trade finance deals will get done, or how your forex deals, transactions will get done, all of those are process efficiencies which we've tried to be investing on. The second thing we really embarked on is the entire customer acquisition process. What is it that I can do in digital that can speed up the customer acquisition process, including sort of reducing the timeline it takes us to onboard a customer, post all the complex KYC requirements. For example, on an average, it used to take us about 4 odd days for onboarding a new customer. How do we get down to investing in digital, using digital mechanisms to bring it down to, let's say, 4 hours or 6 hours, really? So that's the second piece of investment in digital that we did, really. The third one really was everything related to customer convenience. Yeah, how can I make a customer's life easier, better, through better technologies, better processes, all of that, really. So whether it's on a mobile platform, giving more features on the mobile, giving more features on the net banking, all of that, really. So at this stage, we're really sort of settling down along these 3 broad investment paths, really. And yes, payments is an important part of banking, but payments is not only banking. Yeah, banking, as I keep saying, has about 200 subparts, and maybe payments accounts for about 10 out of those 200. So there is an element of digitization which goes on to the payment side, but there is a lot other digitization which is really happening. And the second part of the question which you asked about monetization, at the end of the day, the benefit of all of this in monetary terms still is seen to be realized, really. It is still in terms of good to have. I like to have all of this. It is good for my customer. I'd say it still is not necessarily remunerative enough.
Anything to Vijay?
Yeah, maybe if I could ask Vijay this question. Vijay, the license that you have got is apparently in your name. So if you could give some sense of how that meshes in with the Paytm business model. The second thing is, how do you mesh these two together? Even if you combine them as businesses, how do you mesh them together? And I think the third thing is, we've seen a lot of banks which have now started putting out mobile wallets. And I think, your argument in the market's argument really has been that you are effectively much, much more flexible than the banks with mobile wallets. Now, with you also getting into the banking system per se, could there be some kind of, some of the speediness that you've had, some of the differentiation that you've had, could that actually lessen a little bit going forward?
Yeah, very interesting, all 3 of them. First of all, because we are a majority international investor-hold company. So payment bank application required majority of Indian ownership. So myself being that promoter and majority Indian holder there makes the license look as if that it is for me, but this is truly for Paytm, where I will be the majority shareholder, so that the necessary regulation is completed there. So that is why the name. And now, how do we keep these two businesses together, and how are we trying to move the customer from current Paytm business to the Paytm bank business, a payment bank business, is going to be very interesting. I heard that that payment is a small part of the overall banking ecosystem, but payment is telling us something very important and very incredible, that consumers are ready to accept mobile as a way to transact. Consumers are choosing mobile as a way to pay. Consumers are choosing mobile as a way to those 10 out of 200 services that are probably a banking ecosystem can offer. So what I see very clearly in these conversations is that consumers are changing. Maybe the banks needs to learn that consumers needs to be offered a lot more than what traditionally been offered in a brick and mortar ecosystem. There's no doubt about it that there is a change that will come in sequential and in slow manner, but I've seen across different industries, retail, taxi we talk about in this country, travel, flights, where the technology overtook and overshot the way, the real historical way it used to be served to the consumer. So what I can tell you is that Paytm is riding the consumer change, behavior change, and that change is led by the mobile, smartphone, and capabilities in the phone. And we will be mobile first. To that extent possible, we will drive mobile as an agenda for us. We will drive that if you committed for a mobile phone, you're a part and you are a sincere, it is a sincere responsibility for us to bring you to the financial inclusion and there. So I'm very hopeful that we will be able to see newer customers who have been sort of ignored because of the cumbersome banking system there, which probably could have become a lot more tech savvy. Now to the third part, where we clearly talked about that how we as wallet company had a lot more flexibility and a lot more offering which was more technology centric, versus now that we are going to be potentially a payment bank. What differentiates that? So let's remember it. We are a technology company headed towards financial services system. We are not a financial services company headed towards technology. So technology goes as a core offering for us. We are lean, we are hardworking, we are talent-led, we are very different than what all the banking ecosystem presents to us today. I'm totally new to this system, and I can tell you all of our team is very excited. Now, where we probably will learn a thing or two is exactly this crossover, where how it might impact us, whether it is new regulations that will come on us. But I'm very proud of that our board and our team has always been very cognizant of the fact that we are already RBI governed and already RBI licensed. So we probably are ready as far as this banking requirements are concerned.
And we are also very excited for your foray, Vijay, but we'll have to leave it at that. We've completely run out of time. So all the best for your foray as a payments bank. And Mr. Deepak, thanks so much for speaking with us as well. We have to take a break. We have many more guests waiting by on the other side. But for Lata's take on the in-principle approval for 11 Payments Bank, if you want to know the details, just log on to moneycontrol.com and it'll all show up for you. But we'll take a break. One of Aditya's most